Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, that feels so weird to say. So, I literally have been dreaming to have a YouTube channel for the longest of time. Very recently, actually, I decided that I want to do this, like, really badly. And I was like, you know what? Let's just jump right into it. As you can judge by the title of this video, I will be talking about self and traditional publishing. Cause, like, I feel like so many authors are confused about which route to go, as the author that was confused which route to go. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure nobody suffers through what I went through, because that was, man, let me tell you, most stressful months of my life. So as you can see, I will not be telling you which to do, because all in all, it is in your hands. It is your decision to make. Ultimately, I will be guiding you in the right direction, is what I'd probably say instead. So I'll just be weighing the pros and cons of each side, and from there you can decide what way you want to go. Sound correct to you? Okay, anyways, let's begin. Let's start off with traditional publishing, because I feel like that is the most confusing for everyone. Because somebody that wants to just traditionally publish, they're like, okay, let's do this, and they're like, now what? Like, I was like that too. Basically, traditional publishing. In order to do traditional publishing, you really have to be patient. Like, okay, let me just go through the steps, because I really have no way to explain this. Once you finish with your manuscript, first thing you'd want to do after that is make your query letter, your synopsis, your elevator pitch, and you don't have to, but your author bio. And after you're done with all of those documents, then you query to literary agents. Usually what most people do when they query, they go to Query Tracker. That's where I went, and from there you can run across so many great literary agents, and they usually reply in like a range of 3 days or 3 years. Like, it's a broad range, but depends on like the literary agent. But anyways, traditional publishing, let's start with the pros and cons. All right, now that I kind of explained about it. The pros of traditional publishing, let's start off with this. First of all, if you end up with a good literary agent that will literally be by your side 24/7 and literally be your best friend, you're pretty much set. Like, you don't have to lift a finger, nothing. But the number one rule of traditional publishing is that you need a literary agent. And you don't need it, but it is highly recommended. Because if you go into the traditional world without a literary agent, as I learned the hard way, you're gonna get scammed, like, big time. Another pro is that you get easily a good mainstream audience. Like, with traditional publishing, the advertising is done for you. You get in bookstores easily. Again, the marketing, you don't have to lift a finger for either. They will do it all for you. So you just sit back and relax. Now let's get on with the cons. As I've said before, traditional publishing, it can be very, very time consuming. Like, if you can wait at least maximum 2 to 3 years for your books to publish, go for it. I mean, it'll be well worth it in the end. Another con of traditional publishing is that you don't really get paid much. Like, the royalty rates are very little. Like, the range I'd say would be around 6 to 20%, which does not really sound attractive. But, you know, in the end, if you really hit that bestsellers list, then, you know, easily, like, you will start making that money. And, like, even with your name, like, being out there, like, with that prestige, money will be bound to follow you. But then again, prestige and, like, fame, that takes a while to come. So again, that's where that patience hits. Another con I'd say is that there's a lot of complicatedness behind it. Like, it took me forever just to explain to you what traditional publishing was. But if you really want to go down that professional route, by all means, go for it, you know. But in the end, you have to think about the time-consuming aspects and the lower royalty rates, and, you know, the uncertainty of your book getting published. There's also pros to weigh in there, you know, like, you get prestige and your name out there more easily. You have more of a chance of getting your books out in physical bookstores, and also you don't have to lift a damn finger. So something to consider there, but that is for you to decide. Now let's get on to self-publishing. Self-publishing, I feel like it's getting more normalized and people are like more willing to do it. Now I'll be weighing the pros and cons of self-publishing. So let's start off with the pros. One pro of self-publishing is in traditional publishing, you know, you wouldn't really get that creative control, like you had things done for you, which is a good and bad thing. But then again, you don't really get like a ultimate 100% say in what goes out. But in self-publishing, literally, it's all on you, bro, which can also be a good or bad thing. But depending on what perspective you look through it, it can be perceived as a pro. And many people, they like creative control, and you know, that can be considered a pro. Another pro is you do get higher royalty rates. So I think that's pretty cool, you know, like you have, you know, more of like what you're putting in, you get back to, which I think is completely fair. You know, you deserve to get that much money back for your hard work that you put into self-publishing. Another pro would be it is not time consuming at all. Like you can literally publish your book in like max 2 days on there. I think it's pretty done and simple, you know, like you can just have your book ready to print and distribute in like literally like a blink of an eye. So I think that is pretty amazing. So that's the pros of self-publishing. Now onto the cons. One big con that people seem to be following around when they think of self-publishing is that not much of a mainstream audience is really given to them. And that I have to agree with. Like when you're self-publishing, you have to deal with the major consequence of that, which is you don't get like an immediate marketing thing done for you. Like you have to do the marketing on your own, and you have to work so hard to the point where like getting your book out in a physical bookstore would be considered highly difficult. Another con would be you literally are spending so much time behind working on your book, marketing it, editing it, designing it, to the point where you won't have time to write and do other things. Traditional publishing, you don't have to worry about like a literal thing, but in self-publishing, you kind of have that weight on your back, and you're like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And that's like what I'm dealing with too right now. Like I'm still scouring for book editors, book cover designers, etc. So definitely it's stressful, but if you are really determined to go down the self-publishing route and you're like, look, I think this is best for me, I feel like with a good amount of marketing and a good amount of believing in myself and working hard, I feel like I can get there too. So all in all, it all depends on you and like what perspective you want to see it through, but both sides definitely have their equal pros and cons. And all in all, it is not my decision to make for you, it is your decision and how you want your writing career to go. Either ways, you can be equally successful in both of them. It all just depends on how you want to perceive it. So that's my take on that. I try to make this video as truthful and as unbiased as possible because, as I've said before, I've struggled with making this decision too. Like this exact same decision I was stuck behind for such a long time. I'm like, you know what, I never want to struggle with this again, so I'm gonna make sure that nobody else struggles with this, because it truly is a difficult decision. Like you're making a big decision right there, like traditional. Like, what do I do? Hope this helped. I hope this cleared up lots of confusion. Let me know in the comments below what you want to do and what you think is best for you and why. I would love to read it all. And yeah, again, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Even though it just started on YouTube. On TikTok, it's been a while, but on YouTube, it literally just started. So thank you for being a part of this. I have so many great things planned for you guys. Like literally, I'm just like thinking in my head, like, oh, I got like so many videos I want to make. Also, I have a quick personal writing update from me. So as you guys may or may not know, I am working on self-publishing my dystopian novel named Subversion. A couple of updates on that. I did announce that the release date for Subversion would be January 4th, 2022, which if you really think about it, like that's like 3 or 4 months away. So I gotta get a move on. There's a reason why I chose that date, which I don't like really want to reveal just yet, but it's like a really specific date I chose. It comes on a Thursday, I believe. The version's coming on January 4th, 2022, so really excited for that. I will give you guys any more updates if I think of any, but as of now, that's all I have to say. Make sure to subscribe, and I love you all. Thanks for watching this whole video. Bye! bye.